Hi, this is Joe again with another review. And the subject for this video, I'm going to do a television show, which I feel was the last really great American sitcom. And that's the television ABC show Home Improvement. We're going to start Tim Allen, Patricia Richardson, Richard Karn, and of course originally starred Pamela Anderson, and then she left to do Baywatch. And then eventually Debbie Dunning. And of course Zachary Ty Bryan, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, and Zachary, and made a reality to the youngest kid on the show. With Earl Hellman played the wacky neighbor Wilson. You should never see his face. But at that time that Home Improvement was made, back in it ran from 1991 to 1999, and like I said, it's the last really great sitcom. And the funny thing is, the Home Improvement was up against, originally when it first started, originally ran up against Seinfeld. And because Seinfeld was in its early years at that time, I think it was like the third year, I think it was, third maybe fourth season. And Home Improvement was kicking its ass. Tim Allen was kicking Jerry Seinfeld's ass in the meetings. And it was a very, very popular show. And it did have, unlike Seinfeld, which had catchphrase after catchphrase after catchphrase, Home Improvement really took. It had Tim Allen's grunting. And of course, they had Richard Karn, who played his sidekick, Al, who says, "I don't think so, Tim." Now, well, actually had a third catchphrase, which of course was more power. With Tim Allen, more power. Like I said, in the early '90s, more and more television networks were making sitcoms around comedians, which going on to the '70s. It's in a previous review I did for Walking By Cloud. I was like one of the first, and not the first, television show that centered around a comedian, which gave you Kaplan was. At the time he was doing Walking By Cloud, and of course by 1981 you already had the Roseanne show, Roseanne Barr, who was a stand-up comedian, and of course as I already mentioned, you already had Seinfeld. So more and more television shows were centering around comedians, and Tim Allen was, by 1991, was one of the hottest comedians on television. He only did like 2 short specials for Showtime. It was like a half-hour special. I think both of them were on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. One was called Man of Pigs, and the other one was called Tim Allen Rewires America. And that aired at the same time. Or the second special, he won around the time that Home Improvement started. So like I said, Home Improvement started on an ABC network, and it was an instant hit. But particularly most of the early episodes dealt with Tim Allen's comedy, and it was instantly in the first episode. You can tell if you watch those 2 comedy specials before you watch an episode of Home Improvement, particularly the pilot episode. A lot of his comedic jokes were on the first episode, particularly with him liking Sears. Hey, Sears has got a hardware sale, or a sale in the hardware department. Well, go down to Sears with his wedding. And of course his wife says, "No, you have to stay with the kids. They have to go to a job interview." And then he wants to fix on the dishwasher. And his wife says, "Don't fix it." It's like, "Oh no, rewire it. Don't rewire the dishwasher." And the funny thing is, every time when Tim Allen tries to fix something or improve something in the house, either electronically or whatever, it always seems to blow up in his face. And the funny part of it is that Tim is a host. Excuse me as I adjust the screen here. The funny part of this is that he is a host of a home improvement show. That's where they get the title Home Improvement from. And it's called Tool Time. And of course, they do have segments of Tim doing a segment on Tool Time. And sometimes he invigorates what's going on in his personal life onto the show. Which sometimes, sometimes he irritates Al. Because he wants to do the projects, to get on the project and program for that show. But Tim Allen talks about what's going on in prison. Oh, geez, and women do this, women do that. And of course, Al always comes up with a sarcastic, "No, I don't think so, Tim." And of course, for a while, when Tim Allen would say something anti-woman, Al would flash a cord over right to Tool Time, and it has the address on it. And of course, that irritates, of course, Tim all the time because he got it as complaining about what Tim says on the show. And of course, on the Tool Time segments, he also screws things up. He gets accident after accident after accident on the show, and that begins to be obviously a running gag throughout not only in the first season but throughout the entire series. I mean, constantly gets into accidents, which is one thing I think makes this show work, is that you have a lot of physical comedy on the show. Because when the show puts in a lot of physical comedy in it, I feel the show works, because especially if it gets sent and translated to a different country, so don't speak English, and it goes over the language barrier when you do a lot of physical stuff. And Tim Allen does do a lot of physical stuff on the show. I think one of the funniest bits that he did was, of course, one bit where he accidentally glued his head to the table. And on the show that he does on Home Improvement called Tool Time, it's like the show within the show. And he comes home with the piece of the table still stuck to his head. His wife, played by Patricia Richardson, she was not only was she not bad looking, but she had great comedic timing, and she was like the real actress to woke up Tim Allen, because she never worked on a weekly sitcom before. And she says, "What is this thing still doing on your head?" I said, "Oh, it's a piece of table." He's explaining what happened, and he says, "Did you go to the emergency room?" He said, "Yeah, they sent me home. They said I wasn't a priority." His wife says, "Why?" "Because it was a guy with a whole table stuck to his head." And then she, of course, they made they got a huge laugh. And the other thing that got a big laugh was when Joe told Vandy, played by Jonathan Taylor Thomas, to set the table. She said she couldn't say it with a straight face. So he says, "Okay, Dad, bend over." They got another big laugh. And of course, there were other episodes where one episode where he crashed through a porta potty. Another one where they did like a project in an actual location, and he fell through the roof. Another one where they were fixing a gas leak in a friend's house, and of course, his friend Betty shut off only unplugged all the electrical appliances except for the one lamp, but it only goes on if you clap. So of course, guess what happens? Here comes Tim Allen, they fix the thing, he claps. "Okay, guys, let's go." Boom, goes to the house. He goes, "Let me guess, there's another leak." And then says, "Yeah, the stove." He says, "Betty, why didn't you tell me about the stove?" And of course, the running gag for the rest of the episode is he blew up the house. He did not blow up the house. Now, of course, there was other episodes where you see Debbie Dunning in the bikini, which was in the later seasons, which is not bad. And it did have the return of Pam Anderson for one episode. This was when after she, I think it was after she left Baywatch, or just about, just before, or just after she left Baywatch. I think Pam Anderson was, I think she was still working on Baywatch at the time, or just left Baywatch. And the funny thing is, Debbie Dunning did an episode of Baywatch, which was kind of funny. Which because the reason why Pam Anderson left because she got hired for Baywatch. She got bigger fame with Baywatch, and when she was on Home Improvement, she only got maybe one or two lines. It says, "You're welcome." She would say, "You're welcome, Tim." Or here you go, Tim. She brought out a tool that Tim was going to demonstrate on the show. So here you go, Tim. He says, it would say thank you to Pam Anderson's character. It says, "You're welcome, Tim," and then she went off. And you never see her again in the scene of she will interact with Tim and Al. Then, of course, she came back. She had a bigger scene, a bigger role, and of course, there was one particular story when Al's one big thing with Home Improvement was that you did have see what Debbie Dunning in real life actually ended up getting pregnant. My boyfriend was soon, I think she eventually married the guy. I don't know if they're still married today. But they wrote that storyline into the actual show, which some television shows over the years have done. If a character got pregnant, sometimes we write that into the series. Whether it be a soap opera or a part-time show or whatever. And of course they did a scene where she does give birth, and later on in the series you do see Debbie Dunning's real life, or Heidi. You see Heidi's baby. That's Heidi's baby in real life. They put the actual baby instead of putting in like twins, which most shows and movies have done. They use twins. They say one baby is better behaved than the other one. If the baby cries, they put one of the baby cries a lot into the scene. And if a baby doesn't cry or sleeps a lot, they use that baby. But not in the case of Home Improvement, because they use Debbie Dunning's real life baby in the episodes where you see the baby, or Heidi's baby in the series. One thing they also did like about the series is that you had great guest stars for the course of the series. One in particular, of course, you had Bob Vila, who of course was the guy who had really the first real Home Improvement show, This Old House, and then he got fired from This Old House. It had its own series like a PBS, where it was called Home Again with Bob Vila, and so they had a little rivalry going on with Tim Allen and Bob Vila. And you also had one particular episode, like a Thanksgiving episode, you have the great comedian Rodney Dangerfield on one episode, and you had Emmett Walsh playing Jill's father. And there's one particular episode which he dies, and you had that episode, which I think was very very good episode. And I think it was an episode where Jill wanted to have the weekend to herself, a girl's weekend out, and her parents called, so can we come up for the weekend? And Jill pretends that she was sick, so she can get out of it, so you have the weekend to yourself. And then she goes out shopping, and while she was out shopping, Tim gets a call that Jill's father died. And of course, Tim tells Jill when she came home that her father had died, and she just broke down and cried. I can't believe the last thing he said to my father was a lie. And of course, one who played her mother throughout the course of the series was Polly Holiday. Now, those of you who don't know who Polly Holiday was, back during the 70s, she was the hottest sitcom actress at the time because she played Flo on Alice, and she played Jill's mother, and I thought she was great in the movie. So she was she grew fans for two different generations, from the '70s and from the '90s. When I knew who she was, then she lost her red hair from Alice because she got all gray. But I'm still a fan of Polly Holidays. And of course, you also had, of course, if you happen to be fans of the baseball movie Bull Durham, which I did a review of, Tim O'Leary, like the one who played the born again Christian player, and Bull Durham played one of Tim's brothers on Home Improvement. He came on the show once in a while, and then I think for the next to last season, he moved in to Tim and Alan's house because she was getting a divorce from his wife. I don't know why they wrote the storyline in, because I think that really ruined the show, and it was going to be the last season anyway. But that last, and when Jonathan Taylor Thomas left the show to go to college or something, that also killed the show. But I don't know when they wrote. I guess maybe because the actress who played Molly, that's his brother's wife on the show. I guess he didn't want to do it anymore, or that they cut the character, or they cut their character out. But I thought she was kind of hot. And there was one particular episode, which was one of the funnier episodes of the series, was when Tim's brother had like a job interview in town, and he was coming up with his wife for like a couple of days. And there was one particular episode where, on this episode, Marty's wife was in. They had a separate. Tim and his wife, Tim and Jill, had a little separate shower in the bedroom, and Marty's wife was using the shower because Randy was using the other shower. And Tim thought it was Jill in the shower, so it surprised her. So he takes all his clothes off, goes in the shower, and surprises, "Hey Jill, hey honey, hey." And we might happen to be the sister-in-law. And the sister-in-law was hot. She was smoking hot in that episode, because you see her wearing shorts and a jogging bra, and said, "Hey," and because she gave birth to twins. And Tim was making jokes, as I was trying to get my pre-baby body back. And Tim goes, "It's back." He's just making all the jokes about how he liked what he saw. He liked the type of body that she had. And of course, because then he got embarrassed. So maybe you can tell Tim, Jill and Molly what happened. No, I don't think that's that funny. Is that if you tell him what happened, it would be a couple of boobs, and make those types of jokes. But the show was, that particular episode was funny, and he had a bunch of other funny episodes. I think practically the entire series is on YouTube. So, like I said, if you haven't catched the show, for some reason, I don't know what, I think maybe TV Land's been broadcasting the show, but I don't know why it's not on regular syndication. I'm not talking about exclusively on a cable channel like TV Land or Nick at Night. It should be on regular television, because you have other shows that was on at the same time as Home Improvement was. No on syndication all over the place, on regular television. I'm not talking about on cable. I'm talking about like Friends and Seinfeld. They're all over the place, but not Home Improvement, which I feel is a joke. It's a disgrace to anybody who's fans of that show. And like I said, if you haven't seen it, check it out. I can't recommend it enough. And like I said, it was the last sitcom I really watch every week, because the rest of the sitcoms from the 90s it's starting to go bad in terms of the quality of sitcoms. I think there was a decade that you had Seinfeld and Friends, which those shows sucked. I only did a review of Seinfeld, which stuck. That's like one of the worst shows on TV. like I said again, I don't know what the hell the other TV guy would drinking to make that to be a sitcom of all time. But now you have another show with Tim Allen called Last Man Standing, which is similar to Home Improvement. But instead of Tim having 3 sons, he had 3 daughters. But other than that, it's almost the same show. Other than the fact that it's not obvious Tim Allen's comedy routine in Last Man Standing than it was in Home Improvement. Home Improvement was a little bit more obvious of Tim's, his stand-up routine was more obvious in Home Improvement than it is in Last Man Standing. But I'm not saying the Last Man Standing is any good. It is good. And the 3 girls who play the daughters, at least 2 of them are hot. So that's my review of Home Improvement. Please, rate the video. Please subscribe to my channel. Please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. And thanks for watching. And catch you next time.